Did Southern California Edison deliberately mislead federal regulators about equipment upgrades at the San Onofre nuclear plant to duck a deeper review? If so, did the company engage in criminal misconduct? California Senator Barbara Boxer wants the Justice Department to look at the matter. I'm joined now by Adam Townsend, editor for Patch.com in Orange County. Senator Boxer released a letter this week from 2004 from a Southern California Edison executive who basically says the replacement generators, which contained the tubes that ultimately sprung a radioactive leak, were similar to the old ones, but were not a like-for-like replacement of the original ones. How big of a revelation is this?
Well, at the first look, this is kind of exactly what activists and Senator Barbara Boxer have been accusing Edison of for more than a year on the activist side. Basically, if you don't have a like-for-like replacement, if you have a design change in a component at a nuclear generating station that you're replacing, you need to go through a lengthy and expensive license amendment process, and that's what they claim Edison was trying to avoid. But when you look at the codes that govern renovations to nuclear plants, it's not quite as clear-cut. There's a lot of technical legal issues there, and assuming the Justice Department, as called for by Barbara Boxer, does initiate an investigation, it's going to have to involve a really technical interpretation of the law.
Well, now, Southern California Edison, we asked the company to send a representative to the show. They declined, but they did release a statement. And it reads, "At no time did Southern California Edison hide the differences from the NRC, nor did it seek to mislead the NRC. Any suggestion that seeks to draw from the November 2004 letter the contrary conclusion is incorrect." Is Edison throwing this back into the NRC's court?
Right, and I think the NRC is under a lot of pressure, and you know, the NRC does have access to all these documents, and they've said up to this point, in light of their investigation into the leak, that Edison did comply with all the licensing procedures when they applied to replace the steam generators. So, you know, I think the people at the staff level are under a lot of conflicting pressures, because you have like high-powered elected officials like Barbara Boxer in Washington pushing against them, but yet all the commissioners are mostly industry insiders. So I think there's kind of a slow-moving crisis going on at the staff level, and career guys don't know who to hitch their wagon to at this point.
But still, going back to Southern California Edison, within that same letter, the company still had worries. In another part of the letter, it says this former vice president, Mr. Nunn, says, "I am concerned that there is the potential that design flaws could be inadvertently introduced into the steam generator design that will lead to unacceptable consequences, e.g., tube wear and eventually tube plugging. This would be a disastrous outcome for both of us and a result each of our companies desire to avoid." How damning is that statement?
Well, that's what I think is the most interesting part of the letter, aside from the like-for-like statement. You know, it's kind of astounding the accuracy with which Mr. Nunn predicted exactly what happened at the plant. One of the letters, he even goes on to cite a specific technical phenomenon that is just very obscure, that turned out to be a major contributing factor to the tube wear.
So, after all of this is said and done, Barbara Boxer says she's lost confidence in Southern California Edison, and she believes that it misled federal regulators, and she's calling on the Justice Department to take a closer look at this, open an inquiry. How powerful is it for a sitting U.S. senator to make a statement like this?
Well, and especially Barbara Boxer, who has a ton of clout in the Senate. She's a senior senator and things like that, and it just, I mean, this Justice Department potential investigation is just one of multiple investigations at the state and local level that are going on. This California Public Utilities Commission is investigating the financial end of it. Of course, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is investigating it, and the Atomic Energy Licensing Board. I mean, the whole thing just creates more political pressure and makes it more likely that there will be delays in restarting the plant.
That's right, and Edison wants to restart the plant. It's proposed a plan to do this. So where does that lie right now?
Well, they had been pushing the NRC to make a decision on this by the end of May, so the plant could be restarted. Half the plant, the least damaged part, could be restarted at 70% power. in time for the peak power use season throughout the summer in Southern California, and that decision has been delayed twice, and I don't expect it to happen anytime in the near future.
And we've got to close it there. Adam Townsend, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.